Hi, this is Shar with Psychic Miss Paranormal and Elite Paranormal Specialists. I wanted to make this vlog today because I wanted to talk to you about a few really important projects that I've been working on, and I wanted to kind of explain them to you because I have some very interesting things coming up concerning them, and I wanted to put it out there. So I have a project called the Time Portal Project. The Time Portal Project is something that I've been working on for quite some time that involves time, space, and portals. I've been working with portals for decades. I've been bringing spiritual entities, all different kinds of entities, deceased people, otherworldly beings, discovering other worlds, using portals. Extremely interesting. With the Time Portal Project, I am utilizing a total of 6 different mirrors. And these mirrors have been programmed to work with the past, present, and future. So we have that working with time and space. They are doing quite well. I haven't really had the chance to update my website because I just don't have the time with all the projects that I have going on. Although I would like to take some time and update that so you guys could see what I have going on more, and like to make a couple videos showing you what I got. And I'm actually putting out a video that I've used these mirrors for called Parallel Selves. The purpose of the Time Portal Project is to make new discoveries and breakthroughs in paranormal science. Concerning time, space, and portals, it is possible to break 2 of the 3 laws of physics. And when you're talking about something spiritual, and I'm not talking religious, but spiritual in the sense of otherworldly and paranormal, the birds are quite active right now, then you have to take into consideration that science is going to be in a whole other area of what your normal science experiment would be like. Yes, you can take a scientific approach, but you also have to add the spiritual, because you can't study the spiritual without adding the spiritual to it. It's just no way around that. So combining the 2 is key in order to get something to make a paranormal breakthrough with. So the Time Portal Project works with past, present, and future, trying to find one particular occurrence that is happening at the same exact time in the past, present, and future. And so far I have made breakthroughs doing 2 of those time periods, either future and past, or past and present, something like that. So it's been quite successful. Just recently, I have made more discoveries using this device, and it's amazing. You check out, like I said, my Parallel Selves video. It is incredible with the breakthroughs that have been made, because I have captured an entity doing 2 different things at the same exact 1/30th of a second of time. Of course, mirrors are just one part of the Time Portal Project. It is also comprised of other parts as well, other pieces of equipment, other components and variables go into the device itself. So this is something that I want to do a lot of work with, because I have made some really cool discoveries and breakthroughs. Another one, and I was talking about the Parallel Selves, is where I was trying to find another me in another dimension, and that worked out really interesting. So that's going to be something I think I'm going to break off to do as well. So now that the airplane has gone by, another thing I've been working on is a new device, and it's still in its design stage. I have a pretty good idea of how it'll come together. I did have a small prototype. It was very much in its infancy. It was much more simple than what I have now for design. Of course, it has made good progress in a very simplex form, So it's definitely good. It's on the right track. I have also summoned Nikola Tesla and another worldly being called Vega, and they've been helping me with the particulars and the scientific end of how to put this device together and what would work best with what I'm trying to do with it. This device is pretty complex, and it works with a lot of scientific components. Putting it together will have to be pretty precise, and there's really not much room or margin for error or mistakes. It's high powered, and I know that even if it doesn't work with its intended use without a lot of tweaks, it still is bound to produce massive paranormal results as far as breakthroughs are concerned. I have no doubt about that because my small prototype did a lot of good work. So this one I'm sure will be mind-boggling. The device is meant to work with portals, much larger portals than I've ever worked with. Now I've had a lot of success in finding new worlds using portals, and I've had a lot of evidence with EVP and even images, both EQZ spirit technology images and images from full spectrum cameras and even just regular cameras, digital cameras. So there's a lot of evidence there, and it's on my YouTube channel, on my website. Not everything, like I said, it's hard for me to get things put up all the time, and some things I don't really want to put up until entities are okay with it. But I've had a lot of success with this type of thing. With this new device, it will expand what I'm doing exponentially 100 times over. I would be able to get incredible evidence. This device is something that you're not going to find anywhere in the scientific community because it combines scientific work with spiritual work. So it's a different kind of device altogether. It's based on scientific principles, but it also has spiritual workings within it, because if not, it's not going to work the way you would think that it would work. And I think that if the science community would start to think more like that, they would get further in certain areas of science. But that's not my area. My area is parascience. So I'm interested in making breakthroughs in that area. Sorry for all the crazy background noises. I just thought it'd be nice to be outside for a change instead of always in the home lab. Anyway, the device itself would make looking for life in other places something feasible. A lot of times what we call life on another planet or life somewhere else isn't visible life. You could have life on Mars, and you look at Mars and you see nothing. But in another dimension on Mars, it's plentiful. There's tons of life. That can happen anywhere. There are species that don't live on planets, they live interdimensionally, and you can get those particular types of entities. There's so much to be discovered, and science only looks for things that are on other planets, things that they can see with their eyes. The invisible worlds make up more than the visible worlds, and they all need to be discovered. We need to study these things because they intermingle with our everyday lives, even though you don't see them. But when you study the scientific end of the paranormal, it's in everyone's life every day. These worlds intertwine with ours. So we're affected by different dimensions as well. You have a dimensional self somewhere else, probably 3 or 4 or 10 of you. You have soul pieces that are located in different places. So just you, yourself, in invisible spaces, or just different places where maybe you are physical, that's possible. And that's one of the reasons for the Time Portal Project. But this particular project here, which I'm calling the X-Wave Project, will bring the invisible to light. So it will let us actually be able to get evidence of the invisible worlds, the invisible dimensions, invisible pockets of space, and we can learn so much from these beings that we just never could imagine. And then could you imagine taking that information to the scientists and what they could discover from that. I mean, I do have a background in physics, so I do have interests in all this stuff anyway to begin with. But the paranormal is my first love. So this device could really make some big time discoveries, both physically and non-physically. So this is something that I will keep you posted on, because this device is, like I said, complex. So this device for the X-Wave project is going to take quite some time to put together. Like I said, I'm working out all the kinks in the design at this point right now. I'm starting to get a list of all the materials that are going to be needed and necessary for the project itself, and it's going to be quite costly as well. So hopefully I'm hoping to start on the actual prototype in the very near future, and I will keep you posted on that. Well, it's starting to rain, so it looks like I have to bring this inside. And then there are EVPs. EVPs are the best way to make communication in the spirit worlds. It gives you the most information and knowledge, so they're definitely extremely important. I mean, you can get a picture or an image of a ghost, and that might tell you that there's a ghost there, but the ghost could talk to you and tell you why they're there, what they're wanting, if they even know that they're dead. So EVPs provide much more information, and that's more important when you're studying the paranormal. So I have actually developed several different methods of EVP, and if you've noticed some of my YouTube videos, my EVPs are usually much longer than 1 or 2 words. They're sentences, and they tell a big story. I have developed and successfully tested 2 different types of EVP methods called Permisi and Armanzi. These EVP methods have brought so many breakthroughs and have really enabled the spirits to communicate with me on such a higher level. So I get a lot of information. They can literally tell me the story of what happened to them. It's a more difficult, advanced method, but worth it, totally worth it. And to go along with these new methods of EVP, I also developed some tools that enhance these methods greatly. And these tools are called symphonic imprint and inflection resonance. I've been using these methods and tools for years now with great success, and it just really helps to advance this science greatly. And that's what we're all about, right? Advancing this science. That's what Elite Paranormal Specialists specializes in. And talking about EVP, I'm also working on developing a brand new EVP method, something that isn't normally used in today's paranormal toolbox. A lot of people now choose to use spirit boxes and modified radios because they're easier. And that, sure, the ghosts and spirits can manipulate these boxes pretty easily. However, if you want some really good EVPs, not just quick 1 or 2 word answers, you really need to get into more silent methods of EVP. And the ones I spoke about that I developed does just that, but it takes it further. I've developed an imaging technique that actually captures images of spirits and otherworldly beings. It also works with the Time and Space Portal Project, and it's based off of some very ancient methods of imaging, not with technology, but with ancient arts methods, and then adding the technology we have today. The images are amazing, and this is called EQZ Spirotechnology Imaging. I've also come up with another method of spirit photography called Satrix L, which actually utilizes 2 different advanced pieces of equipment in order to combine their properties so that the imaging is quite unique but effective. These methods give the spirit or entity in question a lot more to work with, and they give them more space and room and energy in order to provide an answer. So it really does help trying to get EVPs. It takes it to another level. It's exponentially more powerful, and the results speak for themselves. And then one more little invention that just recently came to me, something that I really haven't put much time into at all yet, is a device that would enable a spirit, a deceased person, another worldly entity, whatever kind of being that you may want to call upon or may want to work with or see again, would help them to literally manifest. So I have put some time and thought into this. The first device that I was telling you about with the large portal, that is my first priority, and this other invention would kind of go along with that. So I have to start someplace first with this, so we're going to go with the first device. But I just kind of wanted to mention that because this is something that I'm hoping to also be able to work on in the very near future. I have so many other projects in the works, people and different beings from other dimensions that I'm speaking with, and things like my graveyard project, and just so many things going on. And that's why it takes me so long to make updates sometimes or provide a new video. And that's the reason for this blog. I kind of wanted to give you a little update about some things that are going on. Pretty soon I'm going to be starting a campaign about the devices and the inventions that I want to make. So be on the lookout for that. I thank you so much for joining me here today. This is Shara with Psychic Miss Paranormal, an elite paranormal specialist, and I hope you have a fantastic night.